We have seen individual video for each word which is derived using a Latin root Sentire, which means to feel and perceive. Now it is time to craft all the words which we learn from the root Sentire and learn them in single video with the help of story. So I am going to tell you a story where all the words derived using the root Sentire will be wove or crafted in that story. So once you understand the story or remember the story, you will very easily remember the words derived from the root Sentire, which means to feel and perceive. So let's begin with the story, and the story's title is Raghu's Leadership. So once upon a time, there was a very serene and naturally beautiful village where Raghu lived. Everybody was so happy. As you see, the village was very beautiful and very had lot of sceneries, a river, water, and this prosper filled with the prosperity and serenity. Raghu was living very happily there with all villagers. One day, an industrialist noticed this village and thought to convert it to industry so that he can use the natural resources like waters available there. But the biggest hurdle was the homes of the villagers. So what he did is he offered a hefty sum of amount to each villagers to to relocate them to some other places. And once they relocate, he was going to destroy all the villagers' home, and then he was going to construct an industry there so that he can produce some industrial material and make profit out of that. So what industrialists assumed is that the villagers are poor villagers who are not sentient. They are not capable of feeling and perceiving or being conscious. So it's a sentient word which we are using here. But it was a mistake because villagers also has sentiments. They also had feelings and they are sentient. So Raghu identified the issue. He was a visionary villager. So he identified that once this village is destroyed, lot of things are going to be get destroyed. The peace and serenity, the natural resources like water, and then trees will getting destroyed. And not only villages are going to be relocated, but the birds and animals here, they will be also become homeless. So considering this, he had a brilliant idea. So what he did is he congregated all the villagers. Congregated means assembled all the villagers and gave them a scintillating speech where he made them aware of the problems which industrialists going to cause to their beautiful village. And also he informed them that this was a village from generation to generation. Their different generation lived there, so it was the village where their sentiments are attached. So he was successful in bringing a consensus among all the villagers to oppose the industrialist or to forbid the industrialist making industries here, and he gained a consensus of all the villagers. All the villagers assented his opinion of not allowing industrialists to establish his industry and use the natural resources or destroy the natural resources. As the news arrived to industrialists that villagers were in opposition to his proposal, he then backed up the he then took the approval from political leaders because he was funding hefty amounts as a funding amount to the politicians. So politicians and country's leaders gave him a legal permission. So after what happened, after getting the legal permission, he brought bulldozers and all machineries along with the legal notice to the villagers that either they accept the money or with the help of this legal notice, their homes will be destroyed. So villagers becomes resentful and they resented his actions and they strongly opposed his actions. When villagers saw the legal notice, they said that the government did not take their consent and they are not providing their consent to give their homeland to the industrialist. But industrialist was not listening and as per the legal notice, he was going to destroy their homes. So he gave order to bulldozers or people to destroy their homes. And in protest to that, they laid down on the ground and informed the leader that if he wanted to destroy their house, he needed to kill them first. So leader saw their resentment and he stopped, not leader, industrialists saw their resentment and started to thinking that things are now getting out of control. So for that particular time period, he cancelled the actions of the bulldozers and sent them back. The village now later getting highlighted or came into the spotlight, and so many reporters went to in that village and Raghu was ahead of them and he gave interview and narrated the whole story and told them that how the industrialists and government leaders ventured among themselves and trying to destroy the natural places like these. These are the heritage of our country and we need to preserve them. If industrialists want to make industry, he can find another land, but not this beautiful land and natural resources he has any right to destroy. So after getting this news, news reporters published this news all over the country. As the news spread across the country, resentment of people started growing up against the political parties and political leaders. As political leaders saw that people are resenting them, they soon realized that this is not good for the upcoming elections, and hence they informed the industrialists to back off and leave the villagers alone and cancel his plan to make industry in that village because they cannot afford the resentment of the people look foreseeing the coming elections. As industrialists now understood that things had gone out of control and it is a good thing to back off, or it is the best interest of him to back off as he lost the political support, and also villagers were getting extremely resentful as their sentiments had been hurt. So, considering this, he visited the villagers and informed that he is backing off and he is leaving the village as it is. And with his amicable or friendly visit to villagers, he tried to calm them down. So, villagers were very happy seeing that they finally won the battle against the industrialist, but still they were resentful towards him because they noticed that they won with a struggle, not because the industrialist was a good person. Finally, after winning the battle against the industrialist and the strong leadership, Raghu was become very happy. He helped villagers to save village and save their sentiments attached to the village. Initially, the villagers had different opinions, but Raghu was able to bring them all to a consensus and made his protest successful. So this is the end of our story, and we see that how Raghu's leadership saved the village from dissentful industrialist.